Hey, Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, we are talking about celebrity aura news. We are talking about an album that just dropped, some celebrity couples, and some celebrity breakups. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
So we know how much you love these episodes.
Love them. A lot of big albums came out this year. I'm actually nervous. I'm going to tell you. I haven't told you this yet, but it's been keeping me up at night. And I'm nervous because next year's, the Grammys are going to come out again.
Right.
And all these, people are going to come out and fancy and be all fancy and everyone's going to be watching. And there's going to be a lot of albums to choose from.
I know.
Usually it's like, all right, we just give it to Taylor.
Right.
Or we give it to, Eilish, whatever her name is. Yeah. Or we give it to, I don't know, who else, Del Rey or whatever. I don't know. All these people, but Beyonce. So there's going to be like Grammy backup here.
Yeah.
There's so many to choose from.
I know you care about that.
I'm nervous about it.
I know you care about that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just take a little journey here.
Okay.
I wanted to I'm just going to give you a couple lines. All right. So let's say you're at a party. I'll give you a scenario.
This is a game we're doing.
This is a game. This is a game we're going to play. Okay. All right. So this game is like somebody comes up to Scott at a party and says,
okay.
All right, and you just give your red aura back to them. Like you just take in what they're saying, like just really believe that we're at a party.
Okay.
And some rando comes up to you and says these things. What and in real time, how would you respond? All
okay,
right?
so is this like a red rant or just what I would respond?
Whatever. Whatever comes natural to you as your red aura.
Okay.
Red auras being they have their thoughts and opinions that they're pretty solid on.
Okay.
And they don't always generally understand human nature. Okay.
Sure.
So here we go.
Fine. Okay.
So here we go. So we would pick a decade we wished we could live in instead of this. I'd say the 1830s, but without all the racists and getting married off for the highest bid.
Okay. So someone came up to me and said that.
Yeah.
Okay. My first reaction is, what are you, nuts? Like, are you out of your mind?
Okay.
Who in their right mind would want to live in the 1830s?
Yeah.
I mean, let me just explain. Then I'll go on a whole tirade of why you wouldn't want to live in the 1830s.
What's wrong with the 1830s?
Well, let's think about what's going on in the 1830s.
Yeah.
Can I go into a little history lesson?
Yes,
Do I have
go.
time? Like,
yes.
I'm telling this person my history lesson,
This is what I believe would happen at a party.
Yeah, like let's say you live in, let's say Manchester, England. Okay. What are you, working in a factory for 14 hours? You're in Lowell, Massachusetts working in a factory. There's no regulations on factory workers at this time. If you go to the United States, well, they did say something about racism, but you're either a factory worker in the North or slavery in the South.
Yeah.
I mean, bad situations. I don't know who would want to.
Like, I think she's saying like the best situation is getting married off for the highest bid. Like literally that would be probably the thing that would happen to the wealthy white woman, right? Like,
right.
That's like that's the best scenario is what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm saying like, if you're going to go back to a decade, this is probably like one of the worst to pick. Like, there's no way you pick this decade. That's what I'm going to tell the person, like, let's rethink that.
Okay.
Let's think what's going on. Let's think of the Industrial Revolution, slavery, all these things that are happening at that time period. Civil War is starting to like build like the momentum for Civil War in the United States. This is just not a time you want to live in. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know. I wonder what they'd say to that. Okay, so I have another one.
Okay.
All right, so let's say another person comes up to you in a party and they said, hey, you left your typewriter at my apartment.
I'd be like, okay. I left the typewriter there?
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
Are they saying this angrily?
Yeah, they're mad. Okay.
Like, what was I doing there?
It's a metaphor.
It's not
it's a metaphor. How dare you?
I would... First of all, I'd be like, fine, I'm sorry, I apologize, but like, it's not a big deal. I left other things there too. You didn't question that. I'm sorry. I'd be more concerned if it was like other items that I left there than a typewriter. And first of all, who uses a typewriter?
It's a metaphor. I think it's a metaphor.
I wouldn't get the metaphor, and I get angry at the person for telling me that.
All right.
That's what I would do. Okay.
I have another one for you. Somebody comes up to you, they say, everyone knows that my mother is a saintly woman, but she used to say she wished you were dead. Ouch.
Ooh. I mean,
I think you've gotten that a couple times.
I have gotten that a few times. It's probably on that woman. Like,
yeah.
All right. What did I do to her? Yes, I've gotten that.
Yeah.
So I kind of relate
How do
to
you respond to
yes.
that usually? You're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, I'll do better next time.
All right.
I'm sorry. Apologize.
How about somebody comes up to you and they say, my friends all smell like weed or little babies?
my friends all smell like weed or little babies.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is South Florida.
Yeah, I relate to that.
I would say, what city in South Florida do you live in?
Yeah, exactly. So you're from Florida.
You're from Florida, right?
Okay. All right.
I get it.
All right, here we go. You smoked, then ate 7 bars of chocolate. We declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist.
All right. Well, I don't know who Charlie Puth is.
Yeah. Yeah, you saw him on the Today Show. He did a concert.
Okay.
Yeah, on the Today Show, the morning concerts, the summer series.
I'd be kind of like concerned. Like, what? Right. Why are you having a conversation about this Charlie Puth character?
Yeah,
I would be very concerned about that. Obviously, these are potheads. They're eating a lot of. I'd also be worried about their cholesterol.
Okay.
7 bars of chocolate's a lot. Was it dark chocolate, milk chocolate? I have a lot of questions with this one.
All right, last one. So I look in people's windows like I'm some deranged weirdo.
All right, that's when I leave. I'm like, okay, it was nice meeting you at this party.
Right.
And I'm going to go talk to this other person.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not talking to you.
Well,
I just leave. That's why I just walk away. I give them like, okay. And I agree with them. I'm like, oh, that's fine. Oh, that's nice.
That's great.
Glad to see you're having, good time on the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I walk away.
That's when you know your limit there. Yeah. It's time to get out of that convo.
Leaving, yes.
All right. Well, these were all lyrics from Taylor Swift's new album that just dropped, The Tortured Poets Department.
Wow. Well, that's quite a life and conversations that she's having with people.
She is. So I wanted to talk about this before we got into the news because there's been mixed reviews about this album. I think like if you're a Swiftie, if you're a fan, it's more of an album perhaps for you versus kind of somebody that is an interloper of her stuff.
Right.
So I just was seeing it out there and I wanted to give kind of the energetic take on art and music. So when I do readings, I love when I read artists, like I mean people who do it for a living, people who are musicians, people who paint or draw or do photography or create. I always say, send me your art, send me your art. And when I take myself out of it, it's not about is it bad or good, because that's subjective. It's can I feel you in it or not? And if I can feel someone's energy permeating through their art, that's really special. And what I noticed about this album of Taylor is you can really feel her in it. And I have a feeling that people who actually know Taylor, like on a personal level, listen to it and are like, you actually put that in a song? Like, whoa, like we were talking about that and you stuck. I feel like this is very vulnerable. You feel her in it. Like she stuck herself 100%. She's there vulnerably displayed. And because of that, I would say that makes the art. From an energetic perspective versus somebody who puts something out, you don't feel them at all in there. Like you do feel her in there. So just a little energetic take. It's not really good or bad versus people's ears or their own opinions. It's more, do you feel the artist in it or not? That's how I see things when I do readings.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if these are lyrics from the songs, I assume you said?
Yes.
I mean, the one that would bother me most is that 1830s one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm even still thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like the Trail of Tears is going on in the 1830s.
Yeah, that one's really going to bug you.
The Native Americans are being asked to move from their homeland in Georgia across the Mississippi River. Why would you want to live in that time period? I don't understand that. I would like to understand anyone why they would say that and give me a legit reason other than like a nonsense lyric. This seems like
all I could say is I'm assuming it's taken out of context and maybe she meant something else by it, or maybe it was even tongue in cheek. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not Swiftie enough to explain that.
Yeah, the Swifties probably could explain that.
But I think the Swifties could definitely explain it to you, like what she's trying to say. But you're not alone in finding the absolute cringe of that lyric.
It seems very cringy, like especially in this context. It seems very cringy.
Hello, podcast fans. If you're looking for a new podcast, if you enjoy articles, books, pop culture, and hilarity, try listening to the Brain Candy Podcast.
That's right. The Brain Candy Podcast has over 500 episodes of educational hilarity to satiate your learning needs. Just search for the Brain Candy Podcast on your podcast app or click the link in the show notes.
All right. So if you want to know about Taylor's complete dating history, we did a way too much in-depth episode. That would be episode 201. It's the second half of the episode. I think it's the longest episode we ever did. And that was a fun episode to do. But I wanted to talk about some takeaways from the album. For example, let's talk about some of the auras of some of the artists she collabed with on the album. The first one being Post Malone.
Okay.
Yeah, so Post Malone.
Now I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure who this person is.
Yeah.
Is Post his middle name?
I have
So
no
it's like
idea.
his first name is like Goal or Fence.
Right. Fence Post Malone.
Right. I just want to know if that's his, or is it like Goal Post Malone?
Goal.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. Like, is Post his middle name? And like, just like his PR team like uses
like
that.
Post Serial Malone.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, then it would be
like
like Post Malone.
Post Malone. Okay, that's great. Post Office Malone. That's funny. I don't know, but he's purple and blue. I do know that. And what I noticed with Taylor is she tends to be friends with people who are major empaths. Like if you think like being purple, blue, and Post Malone, it's hard. We've talked about, if you've been listening, it's really hard. It's a double empath color. So purples are intuitive and artistic and creative and have like a nonlinear way of looking at life and the world. And blues are very empathic and they absorb a lot. And they can get overwhelmed by all these feelings. And for a man in our society, that can be a lot for a guy. And Post Malone, when I see him, he doesn't have any other boundaries to that. So I feel like that has probably contributed to a lot of strife in his life, but also a lot of artistry and creative ability. But I noticed that this is who she ends up being friends with. Like Lana Del Rey is like indigo purple. So indigos being extremely empathic, and they can only really do one-on-one, and it's hard for them to overextend their empathic abilities and whatnot. And I just notice with her, when she works with somebody artistically, she tends to pick a lot of empath people. So Post Malone being that, and I think their video together was really cool, like watching it and seeing them work together. To me, I was noticing he felt safe around her. And I think a lot of double empath people do love a yellow aura, Taylor being a yellow purple, in that they can feel safe around them. And I feel like Taylor gives that to people, kind of a feeling of safety, and let's be, you can say whatever here and I'll protect you, and I'm not going to talk, believe it or not, crap later about you or whatever. Like, I feel like it's a safe place to have artistry with her, as long as you don't get on her bad side. Okay. I think that would be...
well, and that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you do her wrong, you're going to be in one of these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true, which we'll get into coming up.
Okay.
But then she also talked about Charlie Puth, which he wasn't on the album, but obviously that lyric was about him. And he has like a really cool aura. He's yellow, blue, purple. So he's a tricolor guy. And to me, he's got like a perfect pitch. That's his thing. Like, so I think he made it famous, and you guys can correct me, but from what I understand about him through my kids' TikTok watching, is that he can hear something and create a whole sound around it. Like, it's kind of like a genius ability, but his attention to detail and the way that he uses it to create brand new kind of ideas and sounds and whatnot, to me, I can see why she's saying he should be a bigger artist, but he doesn't really fit a mold.
Okay. Now, are we saying that he did not save up his pennies and buy a lyric in her song?
So this is Scott's red aura.
Yeah, I mean,
conspiracy theory. Go ahead.
If I was Taylor Swift, I have a business idea for you,
right?
Which I think she's probably already doing. Is like in the next albums, you buy lyrics, you buy a line.
You think that people are paying her to get mentioned?
I mean, look, if I was Charlie Puth, seems like he's got this yellow, pretty smart guy, perfect pitch dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, how much is it? $5 million? $5 million. You put me in that song. Because you could put any artist in that song. Right? Yeah. That lyric could fit anyone. You could have said my name, Mystic Michaela. I'll pay. If
you'd love that.
Yes. If Taylor Swift would mention us in one of the next, like KYA, in one of the next albums, I would pay. I'll pay for that.
I hope that, you would love.
Might break my budget, but yeah.
You'd love a diss track. I feel like
I love a diss track. She could diss me in as many songs as she wants. And I would absolutely love it. You would love it.
So this is Scott's red aura. I've been hearing this since the album came out.
Yeah.
That it's like maybe a marketing thing. We don't know this.
That's what I think so.
Yeah.
You said he's got some yellow. She's got yellow.
Right.
I think he bought it.
Like their PR people are like, hey, just like slip him in there.
Yeah. I'm saying he bought it, or maybe the Kelsey boy really likes Charlie.
Okay, and Kelsey boy.
And he wants to party with Charlie or something.
Okay.
And maybe so she did as a favor.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like
Charlie
doesn't.
My interpretation of Charlie is he's not like he's cool, but not in like a Travis Kelce cool way. You know, like I think he was bullied a lot as a kid, actually, by maybe jocks, like that kind of thing. And I guess he's an incredibly huge Swiftie.
Okay.
He's been like calling her a genius and bringing stuff.
All right,
like
so maybe he's been playing the game to get the lyric in there.
Well, that would make sense because yellows are kind of good at that. You know, like I'm going to work my way up. Maybe highlighting her stuff, highlighting her songs, highlighting her artistry.
Right.
Getting on her good side a little bit there.
Yeah. Because his Spotify downloads have skyrocketed since.
I'm sure.
I mean, everyone knows who. Now I know who he is.
Now you know who he is, even though you did see him on the Today Show summer concert series.
He was probably so vanilla, I didn't remember.
No, he was good. You liked him, but you kept saying like, "There's nobody there. Where's the crowd? Why isn't there a crowd?" You didn't listen to him talk because I heard, "Why isn't there a crowd?" the entire time.
Exactly. Next time he's on there, there's going to be a crowd.
There's going to be a huge crowd, and you'll know who he is.
Exactly.
All right. So another person that she did a duet with was Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine in the track Florida, where we live, and it's quite catchy.
I gotta listen to that one.
It's very catchy. It's about like when your life goes to crap, so you just want to disappear in Florida, which is absolutely true.
That's what happens.
That is literally what
there's truth to that one. Yeah,
there's a lot of truth to that. People come down here. Like me, we just might have just stayed.
Or the state of Florida paid her. The tourism board sent her a check.
I don't think they want this type of tourism. Like she's saying, like the people who like are trying to get away from their convictions.
What part of Florida did they go to? You know,
she mentioned Destin.
Oh, okay.
Where's that?
I think that's West Coast and North.
Okay,
so that's not near us.
I think she got the wrong spot. Like you need more Miami.
Yeah.
Like around that area.
Yeah, our area.
Yeah, around us.
Boynton Beach.
Like our street. Okay. Anyways, Florence Welch is Indigo Purple. Again, this is who I feel like
there's a trend. Yeah.
She really does like jam with these people. I feel like that's her. She gets them. They feel safe with her. Florence Welch has had a lot of issues with addiction and different mental health issues, and she's a self-declared introvert, and she's such an amazing artist. I love her music, and I feel like with her and they've done things before and whatnot together. And Florence Welch to me is just, she reminds me of Lana Del Rey a little bit, and that she shows up for a while and then she disappears for a while. So she'll show up, she'll disappear, she'll show up, she'll disappear. But her music is very much, I guess, like a biography of what she's going through, a little bit autobiographical. So so that's who she picks for this album.
That is very interesting. I mean, it's also almost like this is who like Reds would pick. Is it?
But she's yellow. Yeah.
If it was me,
these
are the people I would pick to work with. I'm going to work with the Fence Post. I want to work with the Machine. The Del Rey.
Pitch.
Yeah. So
right.
I'm trying to think if there's something to this. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it because she likes to help the little guy?
I think she likes to help. Listen, Florence and the Machine is actually the little guy. They're very well known. Like these people don't have huge egos. I noticed. Like I Post Malone's a huge artist. I don't think he's got a huge ego.
Yeah, because I don't know about this album. And again, I haven't heard all her songs, but I will. There was one song that did bother me that she did. I know the Swifties are going to crush me for this.
Which one?
They're absolutely going to crush me for this.
Okay.
I'm sure they are. I love Taylor Swift. I'm a huge Swiftie.
You are. You have to be. You live here.
Yes, I'm a huge Swiftie. But she did a song. I don't know the name of the song.
Okay.
With Chris Stapleton. Chris Stapleton.
Oh, this is not this album.
No, not this album. Another album.
Yeah.
Is incredible. He's a great singer. Tennessee Whiskey. Whenever I want to tune someone out, I just start singing Tennessee Whiskey. Blah, blah, blah. I'll just tune you out and start singing.
Right.
That. But they did, I guess a duet, whatever you call it, a collab. What do they call these things? Collab.
Uh-huh.
And she didn't let him sing. You could barely hear Chris Stapleton's voice.
Right.
And that really annoyed me because it almost seemed like she had to be, because he's a big country star, I believe. I think
it's I Bet You Think About Me. That's the song you're thinking of,
that's
right?
the song.
Yeah.
And she didn't let him have his due. Didn't give him an opportunity to shine in that song.
Yeah, she got crap for that for the
she did?
Lana Del Rey duet too.
Yeah, so maybe
Snow on the Beach.
Maybe there is a little bit of a superiority thing that they're going. I don't know. She's got to be the top dog, and then because Stapleton's pretty big in country,
right?
And, maybe, I don't know. I don't
like,
even know
like
why
they sing and then they go into the room and then they're like, she's like, put my track up louder than his track.
Because you can barely hear him.
Yeah.
And he's a great singer. So
I don't know. My interpretation of Taylor is that she's kind of like that kid in class. Like if I was thinking about students who always has the idea, who's always raising her hand, who's always volunteering first, who's like, I got it, I'll do it, me, like I'll do it, like kind of very theater kid, like that kind of thing. And I feel like she's just very overexcited and somebody who, when she's comfortable, she can get a little louder, that kind of thing. So I interpret it more well-intentioned. But yes, I know what you're saying. Like spotlight, listen, you don't get to where she's at without making sure that your hand was raised first. That you're not like, I got it, I'll take the mic, I'll do it. Like you don't get where she is without being that type of person. Like,
All right, now this is going to be controversial.
Uh-oh.
Am I allowed to say this?
Okay.
I don't want to get canceled.
All right.
By the Swifties. I don't want them coming after me.
I've never seen you so terrified.
I'm terrified of the Swifties.
As you are.
I am terrified of the Swifties. That's why I'm such a huge Swiftie.
It's fear-based.
It's fear-based, yeah. But let's say she did not have a singing voice.
Uh-huh.
And she was just like, Taylor Swift, you work in HR.
Okay.
You work in an office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she's just like a secretary.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift never had an album, never did anything.
Right.
She's just
she's a regular
job. Not to put down any job or anything. She's a regular job.
She's just like one of us.
Okay. One of us. I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I don't want to get crap for this, but I think everyone's going to run away from her. I don't think anyone's hanging out with her. I think she's the one like that you all make plans behind her back.
That's not nice.
Yeah, no, it's true though. This is true. And she doesn't get invited. I think it's true.
Maybe that is true.
Search your feelings. Search your psychic feelings here.
You could be right.
I think I'm right on this.
I feel like she'd be friends with kind of the more misfits.
Right.
In a lot of ways. And by misfits, I mean people who feel misunderstood or people who also don't quite fit in, and she'd start her own clique.
Right. And she's sitting there talking to them like why she didn't get invited to the Christmas party.
She feels like, like theater kid, popular. Okay. Like you're friends with all the other theater kids or band camp popular. Like that kind of thing. Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just like that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But then the majority can kind of riff on you or make fun of you or that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So she's like planning the office party and everyone's like eye rolling.
Right.
Or whatever.
And then like comes the party day and they're not showing up.
That's
or her invite got lost in the mail.
It sounds like this is her life. Like when you're reading, like when you really read into a lot of the lyrics, it seems like this happens to her, but out in celeb world,
right?
And she just built her own club to combat it.
Okay.
Wow, harsh, Scott. All right.
I know. All right. And by the way, I am a huge Swiftie.
Okay, we're gonna be right back with some more about the diss tracks. Know Your Aura podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes I can't get a stress off my mind. It's like I need to talk to somebody about it, but I don't want to put that on people who are my friends or my family and stress them out too. And if I keep it bottled up, it just begins to affect me negatively. Well, therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and to figure out how to work through whatever's weighing you down. I have truly benefited from therapy throughout my life. It has given me lessons that I use years after a therapy session in order to learn coping skills or just say what's on my mind to somebody who is objective and professional and helpful. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible and suited to your schedule. All you do is you're going to fill out a brief questionnaire and you'll get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/KYA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/KYA. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
All right, so I promise we're going to talk about other stuff other than this album, but we have to talk about the diss tracks.
Okay.
But first, back to that party you're at where people are coming up and saying random nasty things to you. What if somebody came up to you and said, hey, Scotty, you're the smallest man who ever lived. What would you say to that?
Oh, it's on. Like,
You're like,
me?
hey.
Like, I mean, me? Are you talking about me? I mean, you might want to look. Is this a man that came up to me or a woman?
I don't know.
Maybe look at your boyfriend. Check out your boyfriend. Who's your boyfriend?
All right, so you're taking it in a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a real attack on masculinity.
I'm like, you want to, let's prove this.
Okay,
now.
let's
That's
not. Okay, this got
All right.
visual.
Okay.
All right,
Sorry.
I didn't mean for it to
Sorry.
I don't know if I should keep this or not. Like,
It's up to you. You can cut it if you want.
All right, well, anyways, let's talk about Matty Healy, because that song was about him. And a bunch of other songs too. And I guess people were really surprised on this album. I mean, she had so she was with Matty Healy for a little bit, then Joe Alwyn for like 6 years or something, and then back to Matty Healy.
Who can keep this straight?
Well, we did on episode 201.
Good. That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Put it in a time capsule.
Yes.
We got it.
And but a lot of the songs that that really kind of hit were about Matty Healy and how like awful he was to her and whatnot. So I wanted to talk about Matty Healy. So Matty Healy, he's the lead vocalist of this band called 1975, and he's a producer, who knows, all that kind of stuff. And he's purple, blue, green. So he's a tricolored aura, purple. So he's, creative and artistic. He's blue. So there is a heart in there. Like, he does feel other people's feelings, but he's green too, which means he's got a great wall and a system for things and whatnot. And here's my thing with Matty Healy. He's walking around completely unbothered. There are like 10 songs about this guy on the most talked about album that we've had in a long time. And he's like, he didn't even know. And he was quoted as saying, when somebody's like, hey, what about the diss tracks or whatever? He was like, oh, and he laughed. And he's like, I haven't had a chance to listen to them, but I'm sure they're great, something like that. And he's just completely unbothered. And then asked again, he said something like, I mean, I got on E! News and people were like, who's Matty Healy? So that was cool.
Yeah. This is great.
Yeah. And people are actually, instead of hating him, they're kind of applauding that he's just like, okay, yeah. Like, he's all, and this is where, when you're authentic, it's hard for people to cancel you. Like that is, I think that is the key I see over and over with people and their energy. When they are who they are, it's hard to hate them because he's just being who he is. Yeah,
no, I mean, I think this guy just hit pay dirt. I mean, this is fantastic. I never heard this band 1972.
Yeah.
And, or whatever, I forgot even what year you told me.
Yeah, 1975.
1975 band. I mean, nobody knows Matt Healy of the 1975 band. They were probably playing bar mitzvahs at this point. Oh. So, this is fantastic news. This is great.
I think that's what he's taking
He's
it as.
no longer the wedding singer. Yeah, so... I mean, I would be, like I said earlier, I would be so happy.
Right.
And I like the response to it. He's like, oh, I didn't listen to it yet.
I didn't listen to it yet.
He probably did listen to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't tell him you listened to it.
I guess somebody even asked his mom. And his mom was like, oh, I wish her the best. I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah.
Like,
perfect.
They seemed...
Perfect answer.
Yes. And here's my thing with Matty Healy, just aura-wise. He's a fun time. Like, this is... I feel like... Even though she wrote these songs about him, I really feel like she went to him to discover herself and find herself. And she did. And I feel like he was, honestly, looking back, kind of a ticket to her finding Travis and being okay with somebody like Travis, who is maybe more stable or more steady or more relationship ready. Because sometimes you need to, she got out of Joe Alwyn, and that was kind of a disappointment. And there's a lot of lyrics about her wasting her youth on this and being left kind of wondering when she was going to get married and have babies. And, she felt a little cheated about her time with him. And then into Matty Healy, where it's like, what you see is what you get. Like, he's the lead vocalist for a rock band. Like, what do you want? Like, this is what he gave you, was that anger and that voice and that inspiration. Like, I feel like that's what he gave her, and that's just who he is. And he's not changing that. That's how I feel about the situation. I feel like, he can put a wall up, but a lot of the lyrics too, she talks about how he just kind of like ghosted her or but that's a very green thing to do when you're not balanced as a person. You're like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, shrug, put up a wall, I'm not answering your phone calls. I don't care. And he probably doesn't care that she'd write 10 songs about him. He probably, yeah, okay, cool. I don't know. I can't care about that. Moving on. And that's a reflection on him, not her, but like,
right.
That's who he is. All right. Then we have Taylor and Kim. She had a diss track on there. Thank you, Amy. And that's the one where she says, everyone knows that my mother is a saintly woman, but she used to say she wished she were dead.
Is that the same Amy from the Britney Spears song?
So when you look at Thank You, Amy, I'm just showing you, Kim is spelled out in the title. Like the way they do the capital letters. So it's about Kim Kardashian and everything that they went through.
Because didn't Britney Spears song have a song with Amy?
You know what? Yes.
Yeah.
If You Seek Amy, which was...
Okay, so I was right about that.
You were right, which was like a code for something else. Okay. So Amy being a code word for something else. I get what you're trying to say.
Maybe that's industry code.
Maybe. Okay. There's something there.
Something, right?
Actually.
Something.
And... maybe you are the first person to bring this up because
I heard it here first. From a person who doesn't like pop culture.
Yeah, that is true. Well, that was like a controversial song.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
we got to do part 2 of our nostalgia 2000s episode,
and then one of our highest rated episodes.
Yes, it was. People, you guys love the nostalgia pop.
I'm up for doing that again.
Yeah, that was so much fun too. But anyways, yeah. So Kim, and I mean, if you don't know the drama. I'm going to make it very, very, very succinct for you. It all goes back to Kanye interrupting her back and forth with different lyrics. They did kind of a frame job on her saying she approved something that she said she didn't approve and then kind of mixed with audio or whatnot. And then, I don't know, it made Taylor look terrible. And then the truth came out later and she's still not over it. All right. Like Taylor's not over it. And she wrote this whole thing. And Kim, I think she was just on some late night talk show. And she's like, oh, I'm okay. It's whatever. And she's trying to act unbothered. But I guess behind the scenes, she is bothered. And she's lost a lot of followers or whatever. Okay. Kim's very pink. And I feel like at the time that this all happened, she was with somebody, Kanye, who was extremely manipulative. And I'm not giving her... back to my saying, auras aren't excuses, but they do explain behavior. I feel like Kim kind of got swept up and caught up in his agenda and whatnot. And I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but I think she did. And I feel like her pink at the time was putting up a lot of walls to what was really going on. And Taylor's really holding on to it. And I don't think Kim is real great at giving apologies. I feel like she's just kind of like, oh, what? Like, huh? And never coming out of her shell to be like, hey, I'm going to call you and tell you. Like, I feel like if she called up Taylor and leveled with her, like privately, this song wouldn't have happened. That's what I think.
I have a different theory.
Give me yours.
Okay. My pop culture theory is who's the Kardashian mom?
Kris.
Okay. So Kris, she's a Jenner,
Kris
right?
Jenner.
Okay. Kris Jenner.
She was red purple.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, definitely then. Okay. So this is what I think happened. Now, I have not heard about the Kardashians for a while.
Yeah.
We've talked about how they're kind of going away. So
yes.
Kris Jenner, smart lady, wants to get them back in the fold here.
Yeah.
I think she makes a phone call.
Okay.
She makes a phone call to the Taylor Swift team, says, hey, how much to get me in this song?
Yeah.
How much is a song? Charlie Puth got a line. Maybe that was $5 million. Kris Jenner gets a full song.
This is your conspiracy
it's like,
theory.
Like you ever get, when you have a yearbook and they ask you for, do you want to give a message to the graduate? And then like some people get a full page
like
ad.
a quarter page is like, oh, your parents were like, they were cheap. You know?
We got you the $15 quarter page. Some people got the half page for $50
some people
whatever.
The full page
for $75 in color.
Yeah, that's
and you're going through it and like you're like, oh, you're like really mad at the family with the full page ad and everyone listed on there. You're really angry about that.
Like all the cats' names.
Exactly. And then you have like this like little tiny box that you spent the $15 for. You just got your kid
the $15 one. You're like, oh.
Or you forgot to do it. Or you're a writer and you're like, I'm not paying for that because we're just gonna throw that book away.
That's a ripoff.
Okay,
right.
So that's what I think's going on here. Charlie Puth got the little tiny quarter page
ad, yeah.
And Kardashians could afford the full page ad. They bought the whole song.
You're saying there's like this marketing. You have a marketing conspiracy theory going on that there is a pay to play situation, and why wouldn't there be? You can purchase a line or a whole song about you.
Exactly.
Right.
And the thing is, they're not going to make. They didn't want the song to be positive because that just wouldn't have been believable.
Okay.
So they make it negative, and they don't care. Kardashians don't care.
Yeah.
If you're talking about them saying the worst thing on earth, or the best thing on earth, for agreements, right?
Yeah.
Does not matter to them.
Nope.
Does not.
They just
matter.
like the attention.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
I see what you're saying. I can see why a lot of people would think that too, and then also that just leads into like why a lot of people think all this stuff is staged and fake. Yeah. Because there has to be some element of somebody's talking to somebody.
All their people they pay these people way too much money.
Yeah.
Their PR people and all that. They're always talking to each other.
They're always talking to each other. It's like real estate agents.
Exactly.
Like they're going to negotiate, figure it out.
It's always happening.
It doesn't not make sense.
Yes.
But I do feel like maybe two things can be true. But like with Kim, I feel like she was pink. And if she had just called her up, but she didn't. And I had this conversation when I was on Fluently Forward. I had this conversation with the host because we were talking about how Cardi B is yellow, and she is always writing kind of diss tracks too. And it's just funny because like Taylor is yellow. They can't let things go. Yellow auras do have a really hard time letting something go, especially when they have receipts and they know they're right. Actually, the more they say they're right, the more they know it and they have to prove it to you. And I feel like that is part of Taylor's situation with songwriting too. Okay. A little bit of a pivot, but there is a Taylor segue.
Okay.
You know how we talked about how you love QVC, Scott?
I love QVC in the kitchen with David.
Right.
I never buy anything. A couple times I got close to buying things.
Yes.
I call it shut-in TV.
Yeah.
That's basically what I can handle right now in my life is shut-in TV. And I've gotten everyone to like you always like in the kitchen with David. I love
In the Kitchen with David.
But the kids now, this is like a family event. We watch In the Kitchen with David. We do. Usually Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. And we love it. Yeah. We never bought anything, but maybe we will one day.
Maybe we will.
Yeah. Okay.
I love it. And Brianna, our 15-year-old, calls it brain rot. That's what she calls it, but she loves it.
And that's why I love it. Because it doesn't make me angry. I love David. He's looking great.
He's great.
He's great. He is so good at what he does.
He's a turquoise.
Oh, is he a turquoise?
He
is. Wow. What's it? He's turquoise.
He's turquoise.
Purple?
No, he's got turquoise and yellow.
Oh, turquoise, yellow.
Yeah.
Okay. Love David. All right.
He's great.
Yeah, okay. QVC, got it.
All right. So, that's my segue. Oh, okay. So Donna Kelsey, which is Travis Kelce's mom.
Okay.
Mama Kelsey.
Mama Kelsey. I know Mama Kelsey.
Was at this and
she's yellow.
Back it up even further. Oh. There was a QVC event in Las Vegas in the Sphere called The Age of Discovery. And because we watched QVC, we were like, what is this? Like, QVC's big enough to go to the Sphere? Well, it was. And Donna Kelsey was there. And Bradley Cooper was there. And they had like a viral interaction. So
Donna Kelsey is working for QVC.
She must be. Okay. Or she was invited or whatever.
And Bradley Cooper, who's also kind of looking like a 65-year-old woman, is also working for QVC.
Yeah. He brought his food truck and was feeding people Philly cheesesteaks.
That makes sense. Okay.
It does?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he's looking like, if you looked at him from the back now,
you're
like, is that Bradley Cooper? Or is that a 75-year-old woman?
Nice.
You wouldn't know.
So they had a viral interaction because apparently Bradley Cooper and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and Bradley Cooper's girlfriend of over a year, Gigi Hadid, are all couple friends. And they just went on vacation together.
Wait, okay, hold on. Okay, you're blowing my mind here because I don't know who anybody is. I got to back this up.
All right, I know
Bradley everyone else.
Cooper is from A Star Is Born.
Okay.
And Hangover and all that.
Right. I know Bradley Cooper. I was once Bradley Cooper. I was hypnotized to be Bradley Cooper.
And he has a green and blue aura.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about him in a second. And he's dating Gigi Hadid. So Bradley Cooper.
Who is Gigi Hadid?
So Bradley Cooper, just I think he's 49. I could be getting these ages wrong. Okay. Gigi Hadid, I think she's like 29. Just so everybody knows like differences in ages and how this works. Gigi Hadid is the daughter of Yolanda Hadid. She was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and also her dad's like a billionaire or something.
Okay.
You wouldn't know who she is.
I don't know any of these people.
But she was like a model, and now she lives in New York City, and she has a daughter with somebody else, and I think she does fashion or something. I don't even know.
Okay, so Bradley Cooper
is dating her
is
for
dating
over a year.
Hadid.
Yeah. Nobody knows why or how this works.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to get into it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they're couple friends with Taylor and Travis.
Okay, so I'm behind here. I thought Taylor and Travis were a couple friends with the guy that does the Mint cricket commercials and his wife.
What are you talking about?
What's his name? The guy that plays like the silly,
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Ryan,
I thought,
and Blake Lively.
Yes, isn't that their couple?
Yeah, so when
they had a falling out.
So my thing is like back to when you said she would be kind of like the social pariah in the HR office or something.
Yes.
Your whole idea about her.
Yes.
She has like really popular friends in the industry right now.
Right. That's like I said, that's only because of her status of being able to sell out stadiums.
Okay.
If you take that away, and you put her in the HR role, like even the Matty Healy thing makes sense. Like they like I said that earlier, they would ghost her. Like
that's so mean.
Like you're not.
Oh God.
Like, yeah, it all makes sense. Like if you take away, I love the Swifties. I am a huge Swiftie. If you take away,
if you say it every 10 seconds, they can't come for you.
Right, all the fortune and fame.
Right.
You take everything away and you just leave the person. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
Maybe that's why everybody likes her. Like maybe that's why she's so popular. No, for the fans because she is like
maybe
you.
Yeah, I mean that could be. That could, I mean it could be.
Like she's very relatable as somebody who gets ghosted or like not popular. Or
well, like you said, she'd be with
people are mean
that
to her.
Other group. She wouldn't be in that. She wouldn't be with.
Well, she's with like the popular kids, like Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper, like that. Like in high school, they'd be like at the popular table.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if Gigi Hadid, whoever that is, and Mr. Cooper, old lady Cooper, were to see her
in the so nice.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. He seems great. And I'm sure they would not be friends with her. It's only because she could fill a stadium that they're friends with her. I'm saying like
poor Taylor.
Yeah,
I feel bad for her.
I'm a huge Swiftie. This is why I'm a Swiftie.
That's so mean.
I feel bad for her too.
I feel bad for her. Okay, so let's talk about Gigi and
what
Bradley.
goes on at one of these things? Like, what is this?
Oh, at the QVC Age of Discovery?
No. Like, what goes on?
Oh.
Like, do people care, like, what Bradley Cooper, Hadid, and the Kelsey boy and Taylor, like what they do? Like,
yeah, so they went on some little vacation recently to somewhere in California, probably some really nice spot. But
sure.
Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper, why do they work? I kind of wanted to talk about them and celebrity because they've been actually keeping a very low profile as a couple. And Bradley Cooper and Gigi Hadid, they both kind of like walk around New York wearing very loose pants.
See, everything you say oracally and all the information you give me, I've already figured it out.
They both like dress like in very loose, like not cute outfits or anything like that. Very incognito. They're not fancy looking at all. Bradley Cooper is green blue. And I feel like the thing with Bradley Cooper is he's extremely sensitive. Like I feel like he is a lot like his character in A Star Is Born, unfortunately. I feel like he's gone through a lot of struggles. I feel like when he doesn't have a project, he can get very, very lost in his own thoughts. I feel like and I don't know this is just what I feel. These are just my thoughts. I feel like he can struggle with big feelings and not know what to do with them all. And I feel like Gigi helps him stabilize. Even though she's a lot younger, honestly, I feel like she's pretty mature for where she's gone through and how she's had to live and how much independence she's had and whatnot. She's yellow purple. So with Gigi Hadid, yellow purples, they don't handhold themselves at all. They're very, I can do it. I got it. Moving through the hard stuff. They're stoic. They're survivors. And I feel like Bradley is finding a lot of stability in her and feeling like, oh, what's the plan? What are we doing? What should I do? Which I feel like he's leaning on her a lot lately. And that to me feels like that's how they're working right now. Because I get and then if you just kind of see them out, like Gigi, to me, I feel like she's very disenchanted with a lot of the coming and goings of her circle because she's been kind of she was born into it, so all the socialite stuff and the nonsense. And I think she knows exactly how everything works. All the stuff you're talking about, I feel like she knows exactly how all that works. And I feel like it doesn't impress her, because she's just used to it. She's like, whatever, I don't care, that. And in a weird way, which is not down to earth, but I think as down to earth as you can get in that world, like she might be. And I think Bradley just finds comfort in her. And so it's funny how it's such a huge age difference, but it feels flip-flop to me. Like she's the more dominant person there.
Okay. And maybe Gigi likes 65-year-old women. maybe she's just into that.
Well, her dad's a lot older than her mom, I think, or something like that. So maybe that's not a weird dynamic for her.
Okay.
I don't know. But let's talk about a couple.
And I hope Bradley Cooper doesn't listen to this because you just said he's very sensitive. Now I actually feel
so
bad.
Sweet.
And
he really does.
I want to say, Bradley Cooper, I know you're listening. I love you. You're wonderful. You're a great actor.
He's so funny in The Hangover.
When you were in that movie, The Maestro, that no one watched, and it got an Academy Award, I think, you were great. I turned it off after 3 minutes, but you were fantastic.
We turned it on. You're like, is this black and white? Turn it off. And that was it.
Well, that's the movie where we switched. They tried to turn Bradley Cooper into me.
I'm not getting that.
No one's going to get that joke, but all right.
I didn't even get that joke.
Okay.
Let's talk about a couple that only the MMSF might care about.
Ooh, which couple is
and
this?
And that is Keanu Reeves and his longtime girlfriend, Alexandra Grant. And if you don't know who they are, go look it up right now. You're just going to fall in love and feel like there's hope in the world. Go do that.
Okay.
You get a second to go do that.
All right, give him 2 seconds.
All right, go ahead. All right, great.
All right,
see
you looked it up.
You
Good
get
job.
it now. Okay, so Alexandra Grant, she's indigo purple green. Okay. She's an artist and she does lots of cool things. Like you can go look up what she does and you're just like, wow, cool, and it's mesmerizing. Like just totally out of the box way of living. And she's a beautiful woman and she looks her age. In Hollywood, it's like nobody looks how people look. And she does. She looks how people look. And she's with Keanu Reeves and they call each other soulmates. They're very connected and he's a starseed. So, we know that in the MMSF, if you've been around, Keanu Reeves is a starseed. The way I see starseeds is I'll see like an aura around them. Him, it looks like a crystal color like that. And he wears a little green to blend in with the rest of us or whatever. But starseeds for me, the way I interpret them is they have lived a lot of past lives, not always as human. And being human is very weird to them, So I do feel there are a lot of different ways you can live lives, you can call it aliens if you want, different energies, different beings, whatever you want to say. I know it sounds nuts, but that's what he feels like to me. And then he's with this indigo purple green artist lady. And I just want to know, what do you think they talk about?
Well, I actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would think something like this. Like they'd be sitting around, like how we have great conversations about aura colors and we talk about, spirituality and mediumship. We have all these great conversations together. But their conversations I feel would be something like, remember back to the days when we used to vacay at the Crab Nebula? They reminisce about that. Or, I could see Keanu kind of being like, hey, what's her name? Alexandria. Do you
Alexandra.
Remember, I always really wanted to go to HD1 Galaxy. It's 3.5 billion light years away. Do you think we'll ever get there?
I can see that.
Like that's the kind of things that they probably talk about,
Yeah.
Maybe like if they were doing like trivia or something, they might be like, how many, suns are in the Milky Way galaxy? That'd be like a fun trivia they would do together.
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, they might even remember why isn't Pluto still a planet?
Yeah.
Like things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think that's about right.
Yeah.
I think they talk about just lovely, interesting, weird things together.
Right.
And if you want to believe in love again after this episode, just go watch those two. Just interact because I think that. But back to the real world.
Right.
The Golden Bachelor Gary and
Gary.
Teresa, his chosen bride, split.
Ugh.
They're getting a divorce.
Just when you thought Bachelor Nation could have possibly made a comeback. Nope. Another couple down.
You remember? Oh my God, this is blast from the past. Remember Tyler Cameron? Hey, bro.
Oh, hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, hey, bro.
That's an old joke Scott and I used to make a long time ago when Tyler Cameron and what was his name? Matt Oh, he was the Bachelor.
Yeah, the other guy.
Like they were like best friends.
They were
love.
Like,
They were bromance, but you never see them together anymore. Well, Tyler Cameron said like, "You disappointed me. None of us like believe in love anymore," or something. Like
so Tyler,
he took it hard.
Cameron took Gary's divorce hard.
Gary and Teresa's divorce hard.
He took that hard.
Yeah, he said like,
Okay, he's just trying to get.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Okay. And then and then he got on even some podcasts talking about it. I'm like, how?
I took it hard too. I mean, do you want to put me on the Today Show? It was really hard for me.
And, the Golden Bachelor was a big deal in our house. Like the kids even named a Squishmallow after Gary.
What?
Yeah. The kids have a Squishmallow named after Gary. Yeah, he's a giraffe. And his name's Gary. He's named after the Golden Bachelor. And he sings. He goes, Skinnamarink, dinky, dinky, doo. And he'll say things like, we'll bring it out. We all laugh with each other about it because he'll be like, you make me feel really special in my heart. Like he'll say things like Gary used to say and stuff.
Where did they get this?
This is been around. The Golden Bachelor was a hit here.
How come I didn't know this joke?
Like Abby and Bree and I watched that, and
God.
like just the way he used to talk.
Oh my God, anyways, that's so funny.
So Gary and Teresa broke up, and here's my aura.
Okay.
My aura-splain on that one.
Okay.
All right. So Gary's green. First of all, they're old. Okay. It's hard enough for young people.
Yeah.
But like when you're old, you get set in your ways. I realize that a lot of crap came out about Gary. Gary is green and blue. Which translation, when you're in your 70s, you are super set in your ways at this point. All right. And I feel like Gary is very like skinnamarink dinky dink, like how we joke with the giraffe Squishmallow. But I also think he's like, no, this is where we're living, and this is what we're eating, and this is what we spend our money on, and this is what I'm having for snack today. I feel like he's very rigid, very set in his ways. And he feels like the type to me, if you kind of go against him, he can kind of put his foot down and get a little like grumpy grandpa on you. And then Teresa, she is pink. She has pink in her aura.
Okay.
All right. She's pink and blue and yellow.
Yeah.
And I feel like she got swept up. I think her pink got swept up in this. I mean, come on. It's like fairy tale. You saw her on you didn't see her, but we were watching her on the Golden Bachelor. She was like, he loves me. She was telling everybody. And then like some people were getting mad at her. Like, stop telling us how great your relationship is all the time. You're rubbing it in our face on purpose. But it wasn't on purpose. That is just her being pink. Like, she's just like, and I love him and he loves me and we just have a connection. And she just didn't understand that maybe it was rubbing people the wrong way because she's pink. And I think she got totally wrapped up in, oh, we're in love. We're on TV. We're getting married. A wedding. Everyone's happy for me. Oh, my kid, the grandkids are going to be in the wedding. Like, I think she got caught up in the planning and the excitement and the love and the romance and the love story. And I feel like Gary did too. And then Gary also picked her because she's kind of, she's a little malleable seeming in terms of he could be like, we're doing this. Okay, Gary. Or we're going to do this. Okay, Gary. But then when I think the problem was having to do with where they were going to live. And I think that's where Teresa was like, now this didn't come out. This is what I think. I think Teresa's like, no, because she's not leaving her family.
Yeah.
And that's where she's going to draw her line because pinks can get stubborn. And I think she did. And then he was stubborn too. And then it was just like, oh, party's over. That's what I think happened.
All right. Well, I'm going to read. I have, this is for the Bachelor producers.
Okay.
That listen to KYA.
Yeah.
We do have a few Bachelor producers that listen.
Okay.
And there's only one way that we can save this franchise now.
Okay.
Because it's finished. The franchise is pretty much over. I know they brought out, who's it, Joey?
Yeah, Joey.
The red Joey.
Yeah, red tricolor Joey.
Yeah, he gave him like a little lift.
Yeah.
But that's kind of gone now.
Yeah.
They have one last play. It's a long shot, but I think it will work. Teresa starts dating Tyler Cameron.
Whoa.
That could save the franchise.
Tyler, do it.
Or Gary and Tyler. Either one. Either one would do it. Gary and Tyler might even be a better match.
Tyler's so upset. It's like his parents broke up or something.
Yeah. Otherwise, but that Matt guy might get back in the picture. Matt guy. Yeah, he might if Tyler goes with Gary. He'd be upset.
All right. I think you figured it out, Scott.
But yeah, that was for the Bachelor producer.
And then I think you had something to say about your favorite show.
Yeah, because I do these pop culture episodes now, and I am big on pop culture and American Idol. That's my pop culture.
It is.
Now, I have been, all right, I'm gonna tell people this. I've been watching a little bit more than I've said. You know, I told people that I only watch like a minute or 5 minutes, but I have been watching like 3/4 of the show.
Okay.
All right. You caught me.
Yeah.
All right. I admit it. I know.
Last time we talked about this was the nostalgia episode.
Yeah.
The last pop culture episode.
But, you know, I have a lot of issues with the show. And, you know, I call it shut-in TV as well. That's definitely shut-in TV. But it makes me a little angrier than when I watch In the Kitchen with David.
Okay,
because there's things going on in this show that are just not right.
That's true.
And the hosts, first of all, we've talked about this. They're terrible.
You mean the judges?
The judges, yeah. Ryan Seacrest. He's fine. Ryan Seacrest doesn't bother me.
He's a great host, yeah.
He's a great host.
He's good at his job.
He's good at his job, yeah. He's good. And then, Katy Perry, like I said, we've
talked about this, yeah.
Yeah, I'm mute. But ever since you said Lionel Richie has a fishbowl brain, or was a goldfish brain,
a goldfish vibe.
It's so apparent.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's like... Yeah. Like when you tell everyone, like, oh, Taylor's got this yellow aura. Okay, now it makes sense with the songs. But when you told me he's got like this goldfish aura, I forgot his colors.
He has a 10-second memory.
It totally makes sense, and I'm loving it now.
Yeah, it's much better once you understand it.
Yeah, I understand him.
Everyone's new to him.
Everyone's new. So because every time the next contestant goes, he tells them that's the greatest thing he's ever heard.
And he means it, because he doesn't remember.
I at first thought he was pulling my leg. I was like, all right, dude, come on.
Like,
that person can't be the greatest, and that person can't be the greatest, and that person can't be a superstar. But everyone is. But now with the goldfish.
Once you understand that.
When you understand that Lionel Richie has the brain of a goldfish.
Well, I think he's smart, just like with the, you know what I mean?
No, he's got the brain of a goldfish. It all makes sense to me.
Right.
But the other thing with American Idol, I don't even want to get into this because this is like, you know, the voting is just, it's so racist.
It's a racist show.
This is a racist show.
Yeah. Well, you kept saying it, and then I actually looked it up, because there's never headlines about American Idol. Okay, let's just be honest.
No, it's on ABC. And
nobody's watching it but you. Right. But I did Google that, because after the last elimination, it's like, this is so horrific.
No, it was. It was like 1830s here going on.
Right.
And, you know, it was like embarrassed for the show.
Yeah.
Because I know no one's watched it except for me, but there was 4 contestants that got voted off, and all 4 of them were like of color.
Right.
You know, or a different nationality. And all the white contestants went through.
Yeah.
And then the 4 of them were standing there. And he's like, you know, it just bothered me.
It's annoying, yeah.
It just bothered me, but... Yeah.
And I looked it up.
There's truth to it, right?
No, there is. I looked it up, and apparently it's a huge problem with the show.
Yeah.
Because once they open it up to voting, you know, that's what, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can say is at least it proves that the vote, like, that they're not, like, fixing the vote.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing I can take out of it.
Because, well, that's depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's truly how America's voting, or at least the people who are watching it.
Yeah, because some of those 4 that were left of, you know, color or different nationalities, they were much better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was one girl who was like, sounded like a chain smoker and couldn't even, she was like totally sick and couldn't get a word out.
Yeah.
And she went through.
I know. Yeah. Well, as soon as it opened up to voting, all the black people went.
They were gone.
Immediately.
Yeah, they were gone. Yeah, I know, they were all gone.
But then apparently that happens every single time.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just started back watching it last season a little bit. And I noticed that last season, but I wasn't like, my theory was like,
you weren't as invested.
I wasn't invested. So
now you're more invested.
Now I'm like, wait a second. Oh no, this is happening.
I actually downloaded the app. I'm
to
not
vote?
I'm not proud to say.
Oh, you're voting. I will never vote. I've only voted for one person my whole American Idol time of watching. That was Taylor Hicks.
No, I thought you voted for, what was his name? Sanjay?
Oh, Sanjay. Yeah, but that was when they were doing vote for the worst.
Oh, yeah.
They was like,
that was in 2004.
Yeah, the contestants were so bad, and they wanted you to vote for the worst. So and I would vote for the worst, and Sanjay was the worst.
Yeah, that was... But he kept getting through.
But he kept getting through.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Good old days.
Oh. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it, folks. Celebrity Aura news. We are so glad you spent some time with us today. You know, this podcast is for you and about you.